Hello friends, welcome to Prefacts Corner Series discussion. Today's important articles to be covered in this discussion includes Serotonin Hormone, Magnetocaloric Material, Environment Performance Index 2020, Interparliamentary Alliance on China, Gross Value Added, Darbuxiog Daulat Beg Oldai, Pancha Ratra Agamam, and Aditya. Our first important article is on serotonin hormone. Recently, scientists have attempted to answer an important scientific question of how and why locusts collect together by the thousands in order to make a swarm. How locusts form huge swarms? When lone locusts happen to come near each other looking for food and happen to touch each other, this tactile stimulation, even just in a little area of the back limbs, causes their behavior to change. This mechanical stimulation affects a couple of nerves in the animal's body, their behavioral changes, which leads to coming together. The central nervous system of the locust, the most important among them being serotonin, which regulates mood and social behavior, is the mystery behind swarms. Their coming together triggers a mechanical touch and a neurochemical serotonin stimulations to make crowding occur. So, what are serotonins? Serotonins are a monoamine neurotransmitter. They have a popular image as a contributor to feelings of well being and happiness. Its actual biological function is complex and multifaceted, modulating cognition, reward, learning, memory, and numerous physiological processes. Next important article is on magnetocaloric materials. Recently, scientists at the International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials, which is an autonomous research and development center of the Department of Science and Technology, have developed a rare earth-based magnetocaloric material that can be effectively used for cancer treatment. The magnetocaloric materials are certain materials in which application and removal of a magnetic field causes the materials to become warmer or cooler respectively. The team has chosen this rare earth-based alloy for studies as some of the rare earth materials are human body compatible. They optimized the alloy composition so that the Curie temperature came close to the therapeutic range required for destroying cancer cells. This method, when used in conjunction with radiation therapy, according to a statement, would reduce the side effects, damage caused to the human body, and also reduce the treatment time of cancer tumors. The advantage of magnetocaloric materials, which heat up or cool down with the application and removal of the magnetic field respectively, is that as soon as the magnetic field is removed, cooling effect is generated, unlike in magnetic nanoparticles where overheating persists even after removal of the magnetic field. So basically, a magnetocaloric materials are certain materials in which application and removal of a magnetic field causes the materials to become warmer or cooler respectively. Next important article is on Environment Performance Index 2020. Recently, India has secured 168th rank in the 12th edition of the biennial Environment Performance Index 2020. In the year 2018, India has ranked 177 with a score of 30.57 out of 100. The report indicated that black carbon, carbon dioxide emissions, and greenhouse emissions per capita increased in 10 years. About the index. The index was released by the Yale University. The performance on climate change was assessed based on the following indicators: adjusted emission growth rate, composed of growth rates of 4 greenhouse gases and 1 pollutant, growth rate in carbon dioxide emissions from land cover, greenhouse gas intensity growth rate, and lastly greenhouse gas emissions per capita. The poor performance South Asian region. According to the index, the 11 countries lagging behind India were Burundi, Haiti, Chad, Solomon Islands, Madagascar, Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Afghanistan, Myanmar, and Liberia in the South Asian regions. All South Asian countries except Afghanistan were ahead of India in the rankings. India's performance in the Environment Performance Index charts, India scored below the regional average score on all 5 parameters on environmental health, including air quality, sanitation, drinking water, heavy metals, and waste management. Among South Asian countries, India was at second position, ranked 106 after Pakistan. On climate change, Pakistan's score 50.6 was the highest under the category. A 10-year comparison progress report in the index showed that India slipped on climate-related parameters. What is the way ahead? India needs to redouble national sustainability efforts on all fronts, according to the index. The country needs to focus on a wide spectrum of sustainability issues with a high priority to critical issues such as air and water quality, biodiversity, and climate change. Good governance represents the most significant determinant of top tier results. Real public participation in the public process, a careful structured regulatory strategy, open debate over goals and programs, the presence of a lively media and vibrant non-profits, and a commitment to the rule of law all correlate with our performance over time are the need of the hour. Next important article is on Interparliamentary Alliance on China. Recently, senior lawmakers from 8 democracies, including the United States, have united to counter communist China, launched an Interparliamentary Alliance on China. So, what is the alliance? It is an international cross-party group of legislators working towards reform on how democratic countries approach China. It stands for a free, open, and rules-based international order that supports human dignity is created and maintained through intention, adding that the persistence of such an order requires like-minded countries to participate actively in its governance and enforcement. Countries part of this coalition includes the United States, Germany, United Kingdom, Japan, Australia, Canada, Sweden, Norway, as well as the members of the European Parliament. It is comprised of legislators from 8 democracies. It will be led by a group of co-chairs who are senior politicians drawn from a representative cross-section of the world's major political parties. Next important article is on gross value added. Recently, the National Statistical Office has released its provisional estimates of national income for the financial year 2019-2020. The release also detailed the estimates of the gross value added at the basic prices for the 4 quarters of 2019 as well as the comparable quarterly data for the 2 preceding years. So, what is gross value added? Gross value added is defined as the value of output minus the value of intermediate consumption and is a measure of the contribution to gross domestic product made by an individual producer, industry, or sector. At its simplest, it gives the rupee value of goods and services produced in the economy after deducting the cost of inputs and raw materials used. Gross value added can be described as the main entry on the income side of the nation's accounting balance sheet and from an economic perspective represent the supply side. In the new series in which the base year was shifted to 2011-12 from the earlier 2004-5, gross value added at basic prices became the primary measure of output across the economic's various sectors and when added to net taxes on products amounts to the GDP. The gross value added data is crucial to understand how the various sectors of the real economy are performing. The output or domestic product is essentially a measure of gross value added combined with net taxes. Next important article is on Darbuk Siok Daulat Beg Aldai. The 255-kilometer Darbuk Siok Daulat Beg Aldai road joining Leh to the Karakoram Pass, which has become a thorn in China's flesh, has been in the making for around 2 decades and is expected to be completed by this year. The road from Darbuk traverses at an altitude of 14,000 feet and reaches Siok, the last Indian village in the region. Between Siok and Karakoram Pass, that divides Ladakh from China's Xinjiang province, lies Daulat Beg Oldai. From the Darbuk Siok Daulat Beg Oldai road, a road branches off towards Galwan Valley, a hill feature which India wants to protect because it overlooks the area around the main road. The branch road has prompted the standoff in Galwan Valley. The Daulat Beg Oldai is India's northernmost corner, which in army parlance is called Sub-Sector North, and building a road till here has been of vital importance to India. Daulat Beg Oldai is located only 9 km away from the line of actual control with China, and the road will help manage the border and the areas adjoining Aksai Chin, Chip Chap River and Jivan Nala. Next important article is on Pancha Ratra Agama. Temples like Srirangam and Haradaraja temple in Kanchi are governed by the Pancha Ratra Agama. Ratra denotes Ajnana and Pancha denotes that which destroys Ajnana. Lord Narayana has 5 forms: Para, Vyuha, Vibhaha, Antaryami and Archa, and hence the name Pancharatra. Ratra also means Jnana, which is knowledge. Jnana is of 5 types and this is called Artha Panchakam. Ayurveda Samhita says the qualities of the 5 forms of Vishnu are described in the Pancha Ratra Agamas, and that is why they are so called. The Divya Pravandam abounds in Pasurams, where Vishnu is referred to as Kuthan, that is dancer. The Pancha Ratra Agamas makes it clear that dance is an important part of worship in Vishnu temples. Next important article is on Aditya. Recently, India's first solar-powered ferry Aditya is among 12 such ferries around the globe that have been shortlisted for the Gustave Trouve Award. Aditya from Kerala is representing Asia in the Gustave Trouve Award events. It is the sole entrant from Asia and is nominated for the category of electric ferry boats. The zero pollution vehicle resulted in saving over 1 lakh liters of diesel and thus reducing carbon emissions. Facts from the Hindu editorials. The lands around the Persian Gulf are shared by 8 countries, namely Bahrain, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Twin pillar approach is a US policy to promote Iran and Saudi Arabia as local guardians of US interests in the Persian Gulf region. The Gulf Cooperation Council is a political and economic alliance of 6 countries in the Arabian Peninsula. They are Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Iran also neighbors Turkey and some countries of Central Asia the Caucasus, and the Caspian Sea region. Quick revision from the discussion. Serotonin is a monoamine neurotransmitter. Magnetocaloric materials are certain materials in which application and removal of a magnetic field causes the materials to become warmer or cooler respectively. India has secured 168th rank in the 12th edition of the Biennial Environment Performance Index, which was released by the Yale University. Interparliamentary Alliance on China was launched to counter communist China. Countries part of this coalition includes the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, Australia, Canada, Sweden, Norway, as well as members of the European Parliament. Gross value added is defined as the value of output minus the value of intermediate consumption and is a measure of the contribution of GDP made by an individual producer, industry, or sector. Between Siok and Karakoram Pass that divides Ladakh from China's Xinjiang province lies Daulat Beg Oldai. Ayurveda Samhita says the qualities of the five forms of Vishnu are described in the Pancha Ratra Agamas. The Pancha Ratra Agamas makes it clear that dance is an important part of worship in Vishnu temples. India's first solar powered ferry Aditya, which is from the state of Kerala, is among the 12 such ferries around the globe that have been shortlisted for the Gustav Adolf Award. Thank you for watching.